Hello, everyone. How is your Wednesday going? I got to get you guys up on my, I think on my phone here. Hang on just a minute. I'm technically challenged. I used to have it. Yeah, I used to have people to do this stuff for me. Now I got to do it by myself. So anyway, I know you guys think I'm coming on here to tell you my battle between my deodorant and icy hot. So I can actually lead into my topic today about being right or wrong based on my decision to choose icy hot instead of deodorant when I got dressed this morning. Totally stupid, totally stupid. I know, like, you know, and I wanna talk about, you know, our ability to think, and we have a unique gift as human beings. So what is that unique gift? It's the ability to think. And our ability to think, right, isn't what I did this morning thinking, oh, I was going to put icy hot on my armpits because I didn't think instead of deodorant. Our ability to think is actually what creates, what gives us our unique and special ability as human beings, as like the highest operating species on the planet. And so, you know, and it's that exact ability to think that gets us into a lot of trouble. Like when I put icy hot on my armpits, stupid. So, you know, we a lot of times we're going along and we get into this fork in the road and we think, do we go left or do we go right? But what we don't think, and what a lot of people don't see, is there are other options between left and right. All people see is this left or right. They don't see that there are other paths or other ways that we can take to get to a destination. So here's an example of what I mean. So we all have rules in our business, and rules in our business, what do? They create some sense of order for us. So we live in this world of right or wrong, and we live in this world of business owners is like, this is what you're supposed to do and this is what you're not supposed to do. And that's what's known as binary thinking. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today, is this binary thinking that we have, or this thinking that things are right or wrong, especially in our business. So what happens is when people aren't following the rules, we think, you know, those are the rule breakers. And then when people do follow the rules, we think those are the rule followers. And we have a tendency to like the rule followers and not like the rule breakers, right? Isn't that kind of true for all of us? So, you know, what that does is it closes our mind off to other reasons or other thinking of why people might be breaking the rules, right? Because we've decided that these people over here are good because they're following the rules, and these people over here are bad because they're not following the rules. So instead of asking why are people not following the rules, and why are these people following the rules and why are these people not following the rules, we have a tendency to think of them as good or bad. But it might be that the rules are unclear, they're not fair, um, or there are just too many rules altogether. There could be all kinds of reasons why people aren't following the rules. So instead of asking why, we have this binary thinking that we've deemed things as good and bad. And binary thinking, you guys, is probably the most dangerous thing that we can do as business owners or as leaders. So in my salon, I had two very distinct groups of people, and you might have two very distinct groups of people as well. So, but in my salon, let me tell you, I termed them two different groups of people. So I had the churchgoers and I had the party goers. And we pretty much all know who the rule followers were and who were the rule breakers, right? I don't even have to tell you, just by telling you that the churchgoers and the party goers. So I liked in my salon having these two groups of people. Why? Because it created balance. Because the rule followers, or I should say the churchgoers, created some sort of stability, and then the party goers created creativity in my business. And there was a lot of times between the churchgoers and the party goers that there was conflict, because they, in some sense, had very different kind of personalities. But I liked the fact that they had these different personalities, right? So there's this tension that arises, and what I want you guys to stay away from is deciding that the rule followers or the churchgoers are the good ones and the party goers are the bad ones, because what you do is you alienate one over the other, and you've chosen right or wrong, good or bad. And what you've done is you've shut yourself off from any options or for any opportunity to solve problems, because you've deemed one thing good and one thing bad. So there is, there's unhealthy tension in our businesses and healthy tension in our businesses. Okay, there's good and there's bad tension. And it's really our job to decide if something is good tension or bad tension, and what makes it good tension or bad tension, and whether or not we engage. If we're engaging in unhealthy tension, you guys, that's not good. And how do we engage in unhealthy tension is by deciding that, you guys, my dog is barking, but deciding that one group or one person's right and the other person's wrong. That's unhealthy tension. It's better to ask yourself why. Because your job as the leader, our job as leaders, your job as the boss is to constantly be moving the needle forward, to constantly be growing. And if we're caught up in right or wrong or binary thinking, that there's only two options, we've cut ourselves off from the 98 other solutions to the problem, because we've decided that something's right or wrong. I can't tell you how many times I'll be in a coaching call and somebody will have a conflict or some tension going on in their salon. And then I'll ask them, so what do you think? And they'll say, well, I think she's right. And I'll say, well, why do you think she's right and this other person's wrong? And if it's in regards to rules, they'll say, well, because they're following the rules. But what that person has done is it's created, it's almost engaging in that, or it is engaging in that unhealthy tension, instead of creating healthy tension and understanding that there is going to be tension between the churchgoers and the party goers. There's going to be tension between the rule followers and the rule breakers. But you want the rule followers and you want the rule breakers, you want the party goers, you want the churchgoers. Why? Because they create balance. Because the party goers actually create this conflict, and they sort of, in some ways, I mean, it would be boring without them if you actually think about it. I know drama gets kind of a bad rap, you guys. I really think that, I mean, there's bad drama and good drama. But by us engaging in this binary thinking, you know, we've cut ourselves off. Like, for somebody to say this person is right and this person is wrong, we've alienated half the people on our team. So another thing with binary thinking that I hear all the time is, and I hear this all the time, is my hairdressers won't sell retail. That's binary thinking. Because if you've said my hairdressers won't sell retail, what you've done is you've decided that it's your hairdresser's fault that you're not selling retail. Instead of saying my hairdressers won't sell retail, ask your hairdressers, why are we not selling retail? And then we need to listen to why they think we're not selling retail. There could be all different kinds of things. Maybe they really think that, maybe they don't like the retail that you're selling. And if you want them to sell retail, then you have to start listening to what they want and start engaging them in a conversation. And then you have, you know, you have all different types of ideas and thoughts, and you know, the churchgoers are having thoughts and the party goers are having thoughts, and you're listening to those thoughts and you're solving the problem of why your business isn't selling retail, because you're not placing fault on the hairdresser. And I want to tell you that if your hairdresser tells you that, if the hairdresser doesn't talk, or if your team isn't talking, it's probably because you've been engaging in some sort of binary thinking, and they don't want to say why, because they don't want to be right or wrong. Because when we walk down a path and we hit a fork in the road and we think, do we go left or right? And then we ask someone, hey, do you think I should go left? And the person's like, oh yeah, I think you should go left. And then you ask another person, because maybe you don't trust that answer. And then you ask another person and you go, hey, I think you should go right. And then you're not really sure. Well, that person said to go left and that person said to go right, but you didn't ask them why. Why should I go left? And why do you think I should go right? And if you don't understand why, and you don't come at these problems and these tensions that happen in your salon between different people and different problems that happen in your business, if you don't ask yourself why, you're putting yourself in that place of binary thinking that is cutting yourself off. There's a right or a left. That's all you're looking at, right or left. So what you're doing is you're only seeing two ways, and you're cutting yourself off from the 98 other solutions that maybe your team might have to solve the problem. I hear a lot of times that people want to have balance in their lives, balance in their business. And I think a lot of times, I want you guys to ask yourself, is the balance that you want in your business, is it the absence of tension? Because if it's the absence of tension, you're not really thinking, you're thinking binary. You're thinking in a binary way. You're thinking that this is good and this is bad. There's always in any business, I don't care even if you don't own a business, in your life, I got rid of my business 4 years ago, I still have tension in my life just because I got rid of the business. It wasn't the business that was creating the tension, right? Tension just happens in life. So balance, you guys, balance isn't created by the absence of tension. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'm going to close my salon because I'm freaking sick of the churchgoers and the party goers conflicting, and there not being any balance, and there's constantly tension, and it's driving me crazy, it's because you're not engaging in why, and you're not, if you're not engaging in why, you're not able to move the needle forward. And that's your job as a leader. That's your only job as a leader, is to constantly be moving the needle forward. And when we create a team and we have these amazing people around us that we've hired, that we're trusting to help build this business with us, we have to listen to the solutions, to all of their solutions to a problem. And then as a whole, the party goers and the church goers, the people that say right, that are left, the people say who right, whichever way you go, together we come to a conclusion that, okay, we think this is the path to go down. And then we go down that path, and you know what? If it's wrong path, at least you're moving forward. At least you're moving the needle forward, because what happens if it's the wrong path? If it's the wrong path, you guys, guess what? Well, that doesn't work. That's a dead end right there. So I'm not going down that path again. You've moved the needle forward, right? So fear gets us, and I could go on a whole thing about fear today, but I won't. But you should fear having icy hot on your armpits, because that is not a good thing. But, if you're not solving, working towards solution, and some problems, I have to say, there really isn't always a solution. It's just a constant ebb and flow of trying to find this works, and this works. And then once you've found a solution and it's working for you, guess what? There's another fork in the road, and we have to decide, are we going right or are we going to go left? And then the whole process starts all over. But if we're engaging in this binary thinking that there's only two options, right or left, or that the rule followers are right and the rule breakers are wrong, we're engaging in a binary thinking that's actually stopping our team from evolving and growing. Okay, so that's what I have for you guys today. I hope you got something out of it. And I want to tell you guys, here's what I'm going to tell you. The mistake that I made today is when you go on to put your deodorant on, don't make sure to look that it's actually deodorant and it's not icy hot, because as evolved as we are as humans to make these choices and to not think binarily, like there's only one or two choices, like whether we eat or sleep or drink or, you know, whatever, you know, we have all these different choices. So my lesson today was make sure you look at your deodorant before you put it on. Okay, so I hope you guys have a great day, and if there's anything I can do for you, please visit my website, thenakedleader.org, and I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday. Bye.